Hello and welcome to Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi. Joining me today is Kelley Keehn, who is a finance educator, an author, and consumer advocate with FP Canada. Thanks for joining us today, Kelley.
Great to be with you, Mario.
Okay, great. So FP Canada put out its financial stress index today. What were the key findings of that?
Yeah, so this is the third one, Mario, and it is in step with the other ones that over health, over relationships, over work issues, money continues to be the #1 source of stress. Really not surprising, especially during COVID. But when you think about all of the things that are weighing heavily on Canadians, I think it is a little bit surprising that money continues to be that #1 source of stress, so much so that people are actually losing sleep at night. There is a link to possible health concerns, mental health concerns, relationship concerns, and women, interestingly enough, again in this survey, as in the last one, were more likely to lose sleep over worrying about money than men.
So, what's the fear here? Obviously, we're going through some tough times still, and there seems to be no end in sight from an economic point of view with what's happening in COVID. Where are we headed in terms of stress for people when it comes to money?
Well, and here's the worry, Mario, is so many people took advantage of, mortgage deferrals, credit card deferrals, things of that sort. And the question is, did they actually, if they still had income, are they prudently planning for those deferrals to now have to be paid off? How are they going to be paid off? Of course, if you're with a Schedule I bank, they're probably going to be rolled into a longer amortization and things of that sort. But I'm hearing from so many people that are kind of using that what they're thinking as a holiday, a payment holiday, to maybe do a little bit more spending. And at a fundamental level, that is causing a lot of stress as well. Now, one thing that the survey did point to is that those with a financial planner, certified financial planner, or qualified associate financial planner actually fared better and are saying that they have less stress. So, certainly it's so interesting that when we have a health issue, we would not self-diagnose. You're not going to take the prescription that your neighbor takes or your spouse takes, right? You need a diagnostic of your own situation and to have a plan for your own situation. But yet when it comes to our finances, I cannot tell you how many Canadians I hear from that they feel they have to get it together themselves before they reach out to a pro. And I just think that causes a lot more stress for people than is needed.
So I think I saw in the findings that the stress levels of younger people were higher than people like me, of an older age. Tell me a little bit about that and why that may be so.
Yeah, and I don't think that's really surprising because if you think about the fact that, now the survey didn't dig into that, so anecdotally I'll speak to it, that younger folks have not had an opportunity to build that buffer, to build that emergency savings account, maybe have a lot more debt on their plate if they did just get into a home newly, or maybe still even have some student loan debt, things of that sort. So I think they just don't have those buffers, and that perhaps is a reason why. Again, these surveys always reveal some of the obvious but conceal some of what's underneath that. But yeah, it's a tougher go for a lot of young folks that maybe are newer in their jobs and got laid off quicker, just had that extra debt and just did not have the chance to get that emergency savings account, that buffer, if they did lose their job.
Okay, so besides getting together with a financial planner of sorts that you mentioned, what other tips can you offer people to help them navigate through these stormy waters that they may be facing right now?
Great question, Mario. So a few things I want all Canadians to do, regardless if they've lost their job, are worried about losing their job, or even just kind of in an okay situation. You need to, like with your health, you need to weigh in financially. This is so important. You need to get on that financial scale. Get out every single bill that you owe and really dig into it. Like, what is it that you owe? What are the payments? When are they? What is the interest rate that you're paying? And here's why that's so important, Mario. let's say you've missed one payment on a credit card and you're already in a high interest rate credit card that's charging 18%. If you read the fine print, it'll say you now are being charged 24% because for 6 months until you continuously make your payments on time. Now, that can be a big interest load that somebody is paying just because of that little one missed payment. So once you've weighed in, you've looked at everything that you owe, which I'm saying this casually, and it can be a very difficult thing for people to do. You know, maybe you and your spouse are at home, you've never sat down and done this, the kids are at home. It's stressful enough of a time, and now we're telling you to really dig into maybe stuff you don't want to look at, but there's no way you can get out of it if you don't do that. Then the next thing is you got to figure out if you can't make those payments, or if you had, let's say, a 3-month deferral on your credit cards, that probably is expiring now or has expired if you started that in March, right? So do you have to start paying that again? Do you need to get on the phone with your bank to renegotiate that extension? And I think it's so important that you use technology, get your online calculator or calendar out, and put those payment due dates in your calendar with a 3-day reminder before they're due. Because again, with all of the stress and the cognitive load that you've got with everything going on, it's really easy, even if you have the money, to miss a payment just because you accidentally were distracted. And to really dig into your finances, it's really the only way that you're going to be able to navigate this moving forward.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us today, Kelley.
Thanks, Mario.
Okay, that was Kelley Keehn, who is a author, finance educator, and consumer advocate with FP Canada. This has been Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi. Thanks for joining us today.